Barbara Favola was first elected senator for the 31st District in 2012. The 31st District includes the city of Fairfax and parts of Fairfax, Arlington, and Loudoun counties. Senator Favola is the chair of the Rehabilitation and Social Services Committee and is a member of the Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources, Local Government, Transportation, and Rules Committees. Senator Favola has been a vigorous supporter of universal human rights throughout her public life. Welcome, Senator Favola. We're delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Nadanya. I'm delighted to be here. Just one quick little minor correction. I don't represent Fairfax City,
Okay.
But I represent portions of Loudoun County. So I have portions of Arlington, Fairfax, and Loudoun, but I don't sort of flow into Fairfax City. I love you anyways, though. So.
Before we discuss the Rehab and Social Services Committee's work, I would like to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
So my first question is, why did you get involved in politics?
Oh, well, I've been involved in politics for over 20 years in elected office. When I first came to Washington, D.C., I was a presidential management intern, which is now called the Presidential Fellow Program, which I understand George Mason will probably have some graduates, I hope, that get into that program. So I started a federal career and moved to Virginia and got married. My son actually was born with a learning disability, and that got me involved in politics. When he was a very early age, I looked around for services. I got involved in the public schools. At the time, there was a federal law that passed, which is basically guaranteed all children and children who were on IEPs a public school education, if you will, an integrated education. So I started helping the school board at the time understand this federal law and implement it. And I gathered a following. There were other parents interested in this issue as well. And an opening came on the Arlington County Board, and I ran for that position and served on the Arlington governing body, the county board, for 14 years, and then ran for the state senate. So I got involved because of an issue, and I wanted to ensure that children, regardless of what their IEPs may have or what their needs might be, got a quality education.
That's awesome, Senator. My next question will be, what is something you would say is your most significant accomplishment?
Well, I am most proud of legislation I passed. It took a couple years to require Virginia to participate in a federal program. It's called Fostering Futures, which helps our foster youth who age out of the foster care system. Our youth age out at 18, and in Fostering Futures allows the state to draw down some federal money so these youth can continue to receive financial support while they go to school or go through some kind of workforce training. And it is absolutely critically important because children at the age of 18 can't just go out and support themselves on their own. And we did an evaluation of the statistics on how many of our foster youth were homeless at the age of 18, and then very vulnerable to human trafficking and to substance abuse. So I was most proud of that legislation. And I've worked on other things, specifically regarding climate control. And I was very, very happy about that. And I guess my other big accomplishment that I brag about a lot is the Clean Energy Plan. which brings the state of Virginia, both public and private entities, into a net zero carbon emission by 2045. And I guess I'll stop there. I could continue to speak, but probably you don't want to hear all of my all of my accomplishments in one sitting.
Yes, they definitely all do sound very interesting. And I especially like the clean energy one, because I do think it's very important to address climate change.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is the most important new legislation that you've supported?
The new legislation. Well, we recently passed legislation that actually implements a credit earned system for those who have been convicted of nonviolent crimes and they are serving time in our prison system. I am most proud of the fact that legislation passed, which will allow them to earn credits to reduce their sentence for good behavior, for participation in reentry programs, for educational achievement. And I think that really is going to move us forward in a way that enables our folks who are in prison to participate in rehabilitative strategies and to be rewarded for making good choices. So, and again, I think that's going to be a transformational piece of legislation. And I'm looking forward to seeing that implemented. Next question.
Sounds great. The last and next question would be, how can the public get more engaged in and impact our democracy?
Well, it's absolutely critical that the public vote. And I am very distressed over state legislatures that are, passing voter suppression laws. I think, at the end of the day, a democracy is its strongest when as many people as possible who are governed by this republic actually exercise their voice. It's important that lawmakers hear all different perspectives, and it's important that lawmakers be held accountable by the various constituency groups. I was very proud to be part of a coalition in 2020 that really made voter access accessible. We removed the photo identification requirement. We allowed no excuse absentee voting. We allowed in-person voting 45 days before the election. And then with the pandemic, we allowed drop boxes. And all of these factors taken together really enabled people to vote. And we also made Election Day a state holiday. And I feel really good about those changes. I think I think the more people involved in our system, the stronger it is, the more sunshine will be shown, and the more accountable lawmakers will be. So I want to remind you, there's a primary on June 8th. And in Virginia, you do not register by party. So if you choose to vote in the primary, there will be the Democratic candidates on the ballot. And I would encourage those who are interested to participate in the June 8th primary. And voting is going on now.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
Check your local registrar page, voting registrar pages.